1-1 draw. To help us preview it, with us in the studio from Radio 2EA, Tony Palumbo, Socceroo, and former Spanish professional Andrew Bernal.
Morning.
Andrew, good to see you this morning, and former Socceroo captain Johnny Warren. Gentlemen,
Morning,
good morning. Tony, I want to ask you first, I mean, this Milan team is a terrific team, player for player, etc. But they were a bit hot and cold this season, surrendered the championship. Why was that?
Well, basically because of all the injuries which hit them at the beginning of the season. Now they are in full swing, although tonight they will be missing, of course, Evani, who was injured in training. So I suppose Costa Curta will come in defense and Rijkaard will go in midfield.
Andrew, a lot of experience with Real Madrid. You would have seen them a lot in Spain. They are a brilliant side, as good, maybe even better than Milan, but they do have problems away from home, particularly in the European Cup.
Yeah, I think the main problem that they do have with the European Cup is basically that a lot of the last couple of years they've drawn away from home in the second leg, which I don't think suits them. I mean, if they played the second leg at home, I think with the whole crowd behind them and that's when they're at their best.
So they are a team very much reliant on home support and coming from behind to do the heroic deed in the second leg.
Yeah, well, they've demonstrated that in the UEFA Cup in the last few years. And I mean, it's going to be difficult, you know, with Milan drawing 1-1 in Spain. It's going to be very difficult now without the home advantage.
It sure is. John, the same thing happened last year, or this stage of the competition, the same thing happened last year to Madrid. They drew 1-1 against PSV at home, and then it was 0-0 in the away leg. Do you think that might happen today?
I think so. I mean, the more you look at it, and Tony and Andrew, of course, knowing a lot more about it than myself, but I mean, on paper it looks a very difficult task for them. Milan in form, Milan at home. They've got the goal away from home as well, so it appears a very difficult one for
that
Real.
That would be the expedient thing to do. Well, with men like Gullit, Van Basten and Rijkaard, not to mention the very accomplished local lads, Milan truly have an abundance of skill and adventure. This season they were possibly at their best when Milan played Juventus in a league match, a day when Milan charmed all who saw the game. Sample these passages collected from just that single game.
But already some of the showmen on view here have given an indication that they're relishing the special feel about this fixture. Maldini. There's a real zip about Milan too. Rijkaard. Donadoni towards Gullit, who helps it on. Van Basten and Favreau is past him. It's deflected. Milan have scored. Rijkaard. Juventus struggling to stem the tide at the moment. Baresi. Here's Evani. Look at the room he's got. Colombo. There's no way out for Juventus. Rijkaard. Gullit. Back from Tassotti. They're picking their passes at will. And they're a class above Juventus at the moment. Tassotti. Colombo assessing what's on in the middle and finding Gullit. Here's Van Basten. It's 2-0. It's Evani. And he's alive to the interception. Gullit. Here's Ancelotti, beaten away. Back from Colombo. Juventus really stood and watched. They've had their moments against some of the lesser lights. Only a couple of weeks ago they got 6 here against Pescara when Van Basten wasn't playing. Rijkaard. Colombo. It's painful viewing for Dino Zoff. Colombo's round the back. Van Basten! That's a brilliant save. They've ruled out any possibility of bringing on Altobelli. Rijkaard away from Marocchi. Could have got the cross in, decided instead to let Colombo do it. Hullet. It came off the body of Gallia, and Donadoni was punished really for a very sharp turn. Well, this could be a situation tailor-made for Hullet. But he doesn't take it. It was Van Basten. Clean tackle by Tassotti. And the break is on with Manari. Van Basten. And Hullet still prepared to work back to win the ball for Milan. Van Basten. Rijkaard waving players into position. Tassotti, the Olays are coming out now from the crowd. Ancelotti, Juventus on the rack again. Must be so disheartening for them. They can't get close to the ball. Ancelotti, Baresi, Rijkaard. Ancelotti. And here's Donadoni. Are they going to round it all off with a goal? They are! Oh, fantastic! Simply fantastic! And it's Manari! There are two things to admire here. The sheer skill of Milan and their play, and also their application. They've never slackened. And here's Manari again. Is he going to score his second? He is! Well, he's been the cherry on the icing on the cake.
Some lovely stuff there from Milan, and that's what Real Madrid will be up against today. Let me give you some news, by the way, before we go on. In matches already completed in the semi-finals of the European Cup this morning, Galatasaray and Steaua Bucharest drew 1-1, which means that Steaua have qualified for the final in the Champions Cup on a 5-1 aggregate. And in the Cup Winners' Cup, good news for Italian fans, Sampdoria defeated Mechelen 3-0. So they go through to the final on a 4-2 aggregate. Andrew, that's the sort of stuff that Real Madrid will be up against tonight. It's not going to be easy, but I wonder whether Milan will lay that sort of style on, because they really don't need to.
Well, I don't think any of the two sides are safe with the scoreline, really. I mean, 1-1, anything can happen. I think Milan would be stupid to go out and play defensively, because, I mean, I don't think any side in the world is capable of soaking up a lot of pressure from Real Madrid.
That's right, even away from home. Tony, and Arrigo Sacchi said before the game, or said a couple of days ago, that they're going to go out all-out attack. He's saying that that's the only way to play against Real Madrid.
Well, it's not only the only way to play against Real Madrid, but also the only way AC Milan are capable of playing. Some interesting statistics are that Real Madrid always defeated AC Milan in European Cup competition on aggregate, but they always lost in San Siro, so we'll see what happens tonight.
Well, that's right. I mean, in those previous occasions, the second leg was probably always at home, or at least they got a better score at home. But it's, I mean, just looking at this Real Madrid team, John, one problem that they have, as you were saying, Andrew, earlier too, that Butragueño, who's their star striker, doesn't really perform very well away from home. He's rather uncomfortable. What do you think?
Well, he hasn't, by his standards anyhow, hasn't been a good year, but that sort of battle, although Tony was saying that Costa Curta will probably play in defence, yeah? I was looking at Rijkaard Baresi against Butragueño Sanchez as a real duel now, Costa Curta there, of course. But back to Tony's comment, Les, if I could, about it's the only way Milan know how to play, and the trend there, and with the Dutch team of playing this, which we've talked about, Les, of the two liberos, of two players like Rijkaard and Baresi who really can play. It really is the trend now of the top teams, and it's the one to be imitated. The days of the old stopper and the permanent guy behind.
It seems, yeah, I wonder
These guys start the attacks, they start the creative moves, and the days of having a guy there just because he's good in the air at the back and one permanent behind are really over.
Yeah, I wonder what you think about that, Tony. Is that a conscious thing? Do you see that? I definitely feel that's a trend, that for teams to play with twin liberos like Rijkaard and Baresi, I mean, quality players like that don't grow on trees.
Well,
but neither of them is a stopper.
That's right, but both of them could really play anywhere because they're very constructive players. Actually, Berzot in years gone by tried to play Baresi in midfield. It didn't work, but he's one of the best liberos, and he does come forward constantly and is covered by somebody else. Usually it's Rijkaard. Tonight probably is going to be Costa Curta.
And what about Evani's absence? What sort of problem is that going to make for Milan? They have a stopper in instead of, or a defender in instead of Evani. And Evani, as we saw on that clip, is a very potent force up front.
Well, you see, when you talk about AC Milan, you talk about the three Dutchmen, and then there are the others, apart from Baresi, of course.
That's not a very Italian thing to say.
Yeah, but Evani does play a very important role because he's a quantity player, but a quality player as well, and he's been scoring goals lately, and it would have been very useful tonight, but I mean, there is nothing they can do, and they do have some depth on the bench.
Andrew, okay, we spoke about Butragueño, and it seems that he is a player that it's possible to hold. You can hold him away from home. It's possible to intimidate him. But the other danger man there, of course, is Sanchez, who nicks in and scores goals from the most unlikely situations. I still reckon he's the danger man here today.
Yeah, well, Hugo Sanchez is a great scorer. He's proven it the last few years in Spain. I mean, they're two great players. Butragueño, you could hold him for 79 minutes and he'll score. You know, he'll make a goal out of nothing.
That's right. Andrew, I've got to stop you there because we're ready in Milan, so let's go now to our commentator, Martin Tyler.
Welcome to a wonderful atmosphere in Milan. A riveting match between these two great clubs 2 weeks ago ended in a 1-1 draw in the first leg of the European Cup semi-final. And the stadium here is packed to see the outcome in the second leg. Milan's plans disrupted by a training injury to Alberigo Evani yesterday. A late call-up for Alessandro Costa Curta. Otherwise, it's the same side which gave a brilliant performance in Madrid, where the captain Franco Baresi really pulled the strings. And Marco van Basten produced a brilliant equaliser to a first-half goal for Real from Hugo Sanchez. Real's coach, Leo Beenhakker, has said quite simply his team can't play as badly again. And he promises one or two surprises to try to break down Milan's superbly drilled defence. The good news for him is that Michel, talking there to referee Alex Ponnet from Belgium, is fit after a scare when he was injured playing for Real on Saturday. Paco Llorente is brought in to add some pace, breaking from wide positions. And he just walks across the camera there. But it's going to be tough for Real Madrid. Milan looked much the better side in the first leg. Inspired by the Dutch trio of Van Basten, Gullit and Rijkaard. First of all, there will be a minute's silence for the victims and those bereaved by the Hillsborough disaster in England, a tragedy which has touched and scarred football fans all around the world. There's the Milan lineup, Costa Curta wearing number 5. Well, the game gets underway with Real Madrid wearing the change strip of all blue, the famous red and black stripes of Milan. Neither side has performed particularly well in domestic competition since the first leg. Milan have drawn 2 games, and Real, having beaten Murcia conclusively 3 days after the first leg, lost in the league for the first time away to Celta on Saturday night. So they don't come here in the best of form, but they have the ability to improvise. And really, you could say it's organisation in terms of Milan against improvisation tonight. And we'll see what Leo Beenhakker, the Real coach, has been able to do to try and tactically win something back. A 0-0, of course, is good enough in the rules of European competition for the home side. They would win then on the away goal scored by Van Basten in the Bernabeu Stadium. And now it will be the minute silence. I just wonder whether the referee forgot about it, but the respects are properly paid to those so tragically affected by the events at the FA Cup semi-final in Sheffield last Saturday. So the game goes on, although football around the world is under a dark shadow at the moment. Butragueño, here's Schuster. Sanchez. And Gullit doing a bit of marking of his own on the player who was responsible for watching Gullit closely in Madrid. Milan feeling hard done by that they didn't get more than the Van Basten goal in that first leg, because Gullit had a goal that looked pretty good on the replay, disallowed for offside. Chendo, Gallego, the captain and the sweeper. Hugo Sanchez as he fell, and Llorente trying to use that speed that he has and unlock Milan through the centre. And a yellow card comes out for Hugo Sanchez, which means that if Real Madrid reach the final, he won't be able to play. It's his second of the tournament, and it was for a bit of blocking off the ball after Paco Llorente had been dispossessed. And Alex Pone, the Belgian referee, determined to set out his stall early on. And a dozen players in this match, with the worry that a caution tonight would put them out of the final. So discipline is certainly a high priority, and Hugo Sanchez has made an indisciplined start and paid the price. Van Basten, 7 is Donadoni, only as far as Schuster. Gordillo. Gordillo had a poor first leg, and there was a lot of fairly informed guesswork that he might be the player to drop out. But he is in the lineup. Martin Vasquez will take the corner. Michel. And certainly when it looks for improvement, Real Madrid will expect more from Michel, who's not really got the better of 20-year-old Paolo Maldini in either the meeting between the clubs or when Spain played Italy in the European Championships in Frankfurt. Leo Beenhakker. It seems certain now that he will be leaving Real Madrid at the end of the season, whatever happens. Gullit. Fine touch from Van Basten, and Schuster had to keep an eye on the run from Donadoni from midfield. It will be very interesting to see the approach from Milan. The Italian mentality, when a 0-0 draw is enough, is often attracted by that. It was very costly for Internazionale on this very ground in the UEFA Cup earlier in the season, when they won 2-0 away to Bayern Munich and didn't really try to improve on that at home, and were beaten 3-1 and went out on the away goals rule. Rijkaard, there's plenty of attacking ideas there, but the pass was too long for Colombo. Schuster. They'll need him to pass the ball at his very best. And that's nicely played. Hugo Sanchez. Butragueño's got into the centre, and Giovanni Galli had to fist the ball away from him. Michel fired it over the top at the end of a move which was set off initially by Bernd Schuster, probing away from midfield. And Galli had to be very sharp coming out to get to the cross before Butragueño could turn it in. Llorente. And Maldini not only won the ball, he won a free kick as well. Here's Arrigo Sacchi, whose job, it's said in these parts, depends on Milan winning the European Cup. They're not going to retain the Italian Championship. 12 points adrift of Inter, now with 9 games of the Italian season left. Baresi. Baresi, who was masterful in Madrid. Maldini, whose father Cesare won the European Cup winners' medal in 1963 for Milan, when they beat Benfica in London at Wembley. Back from Baresi. As if that attack by Real Madrid a minute or two ago induced a note of caution into Milan's play. Remember the first leg. Here's Colombo. And that's the corner. Galli has already made a contribution at the other end, but it's Buyo who's under the spotlight now. The corner work short between Donadoni and Colombo. Good play by Donadoni. Van Basten's up. Well, Marco van Basten, with that thrust in the air that's already made an imprint on this semi-final, and that was in the first leg when Tendillo was brought in specifically to mark him because of his strength in the air too. Well, Tendillo is dropped to the substitutes tonight, and there might be even more opportunity for Van Basten if the crosses come in like that one. Baresi. Well, the crowd disappointed that Donadoni rolled it back to Maldini and lost all the impetus that Baresi was seeking to provide. The push by Sanchez on Gullit. Rijkaard unable to lift the free kick over Martin Vasquez. Van Basten. Hugo Sanchez making it difficult for Baresi. In fact, might have made it more difficult had he been able to control the ball first time. Butragueño. Sanchez, they were looking for offside, and instead, when the whistle's gone, it's for a Real Madrid free kick. Well, that's one of the many fascinating aspects of this game, the way Milan do defend. Baresi organises it, and Real Madrid fell into the offside trap so often in the Bernabeu Stadium. But it didn't work for the home side here, and Galli will be well aware of the pedigree of a number of Real players at set plays, notably Sanchez and Schuster. Schuster takes it, comes off the wall. That's Gordillo launching himself for a header. Recognisable always by the socks down right from the outset. Well, the ball went over Rijkaard, but he was pushing Martin Vasquez, and now he's got goal side of him. Costa Curta, now Maldini. Picked off by Michel. And Butragueño has earned Real Madrid a corner. 14 minutes gone. Michel takes. Oh, and Sanchez had really two bites at it then. And I would think he's a little bit disappointed with himself. He miscued the first time, it almost rolled back for him. It's led to a corner on the left now for Real Madrid. Schuster. Colombo almost confusing Rijkaard. Milan had pulled everyone back. Michel. From the Real Madrid viewpoint, it's a simple target here. They have to score, otherwise they'll be out. And they have to do that within the 90 minutes, of course. Only if it was to be 1-1 here, after 90 minutes, would it go to extra time. Rijkaard Rijkaard, Colombo. Lovely football from Milan until Colombo let the ball run away from him on a slippery top. They do work so hard in midfield, Milan. The one thing they lack in that department possibly is an out-and-out goal scorer from midfield. Although Rijkaard is playing further forward tonight, and he can certainly move on menacingly. Baresi. And Collet has found some space. Can Milan capitalise on it? He gets the cross in. Gordillo's header away. Ancelotti. Tidied up by Schuster. Everywhere you look on the pitch, there's such quality here. Incidentally, the winners will play Steaua Bucharest in the final. They came through successfully against Galatasaray of Turkey, a 1-1 draw in Turkey earlier today. 5-1 to Steaua on aggregate. Putugueño, and there's the Milan press, which they hope will squeeze the vigour out of Real's intelligent forward play. Ancelotti. Baresi. Hugo Sanchez working back to stop Tassotti linking up down the Milan right. Collet. Tassotti. Good play by Hullet. Ancelotti, Maldini started to go to his left and then checked. Ancelotti shot! Oh! Carlo Ancelotti! With delight, and I would think considerable surprise. Buyo just flapped at it, and it went into the middle of the goal. Obviously a certain amount of swerve on it. It looks spectacular, but you have to blame the goalkeeper. Milan have delighted their supporters. Real Madrid are stunned. And Carlo Ancelotti, who always is prepared to have a crack from distance, hits the jackpot here. So the goal coming 17 minutes into the first half. It's 1-0 in this second leg, 2-1 to Milan on aggregate. And they're ahead in the tie for the first time. Well, Buyo is something of an eccentric amongst goalkeepers. He seemed to have taken up a reasonable position off his line, but he made no contact as he looked, rather theatrically to my mind, to push it over the top. Madrid, who aren't really used to the role of underdogs, are certainly cast in that style here. Hugo Sanchez. They've lost in the last 2 years in the semi-final of the European Cup to Bayern Munich in '87 and to PSV Eindhoven from Holland last season. But here's Sanchez trying to change the picture. Gullit drifting wide from time to time. Opposite side of the pitch, his pass not quite accurate enough. Well, Ancelotti, a scorer and desperate to play in the final. He missed out in '84 for Roma. He was in the team that won the championship with that club. Gordillo's offside. It must have been a close run thing, though. But just to finish off the Ancelotti story, well, Schuster was running back from an offside position and it was impossible to judge Gordillo on that replay. For him, and this time from almost the same spot where Ancelotti struck from. Maldini couldn't hit the target. A tremendous international audience this match has attracted, being beamed, these pictures live around the world, even as far as Australia, where viewers on SBS are watching live, and a special good day to all you down under. Colombo. Martin Vasquez, who works so hard and so effectively from midfield for Real Madrid. Tassotti. Rijkaard, who prefers playing in midfield. Donadoni. Here's Ancelotti. Well, Ancelotti's role re-evaluated because of the training injury to Evani yesterday. He would have played on the left of midfield. Ancelotti, who usually operates in the centre, has been pushed out there, but moved into the centre undetected to hit that significant shot. Milan's corner. Gordillo came off him in the wrong direction. Gullit hesitated, as if settling for the corner, then thought he could keep the ball in play, but the linesman had raised the flag. In from Donadoni. Costa Curta there first. Rijkaard. Donadoni got the better of Schuster. A beautiful flick for Colombo. Well, clearly Leo Beenhakker has picked a side designed to score goals for Real Madrid. It hasn't really improved the quality of their defensive play around the sweeper, Gallego. Tassotti. Rijkaard is there! Milan are looking masterful. Tassotti floated it in, and those defensive shortcomings for Real Madrid there for all to see, because Frank Rijkaard planted the header into the corner. the highest, and the Dutch influence on Milan is felt again, to the distress of a Dutch coach, Leo Beenhakker. 2-0 here, 3-1 the aggregate score. And Milan really couldn't have expected a better start. And the team, which has been criticised for not scoring goals from midfield, have got 2 from midfield men in this game. Butragueño is offside. There's distress on the faces of the Real players. It was always going to be difficult. The mission looks nigh on impossible now. Just to spell out what they need to do, it has to be 2 goals now. 2-2 would be enough on that away goals rule. You wouldn't bet on it though, would you? Sanchez. Hugo Sanchez. Gordillo, who's 32 now, and although Real are well placed to go on and win the Spanish League Championship for what would be a 4th consecutive year, this team, I'm sure, will be dismantled if they don't win the European Cup as well, and Gordillo is likely to be one of the departures. Gallego possibly as well, in his 9th season now as a first-team regular. Chendo. Sanchez desperately trying to emulate his father of the same name, who was a European Cup winner with Real Madrid in 1966. The last time this great club with such European tradition actually won the Champions Trophy. But the championship class here is coming from the Italian club. Baresi. They looked for offside against Van Basten. It wasn't forthcoming. Broken up by Schuster. Michel. Butragueño, and Galli didn't come very conclusively. Butragueño, who's not the most demonstrative of players, expected to get a penalty and looked to the linesman. Now, well, he seemed to get the ball. It was a question of whether Galli got Butragueño or whether it was a dive. You can see from the goal kick what the referee thought of it. He ruled against Emilio Butragueño. And some lunging tackles from Real Madrid that need the referee's intervention here. The frustrations are showing. And that wasn't altogether surprising after what had happened between Butragueño and Galli. Alex Ponet, who has taken charge of a European Cup final, is very, very experienced. Well, that showed that Butragueño played the ball, but again, it really didn't reveal at the point of impact whether Butragueño was tugged down or whether he threw himself to the ground. Most European observers would tell you that if that had happened in Madrid, I think we'd have seen a penalty. Schuster. It's been an exhilarating first half an hour for Milan. Gallego. And again. Gordillo. It's Hugo Sanchez who whips it forward. Paco Llorente was darting through the centre. He's still there, but Hugo Sanchez can't find him. And Schuster dwells and is dispossessed by the persistent Ancelotti. Colette. And Bouillot was able to parry it and retrieve it. Colette in particular really is a lucky charm for whichever team he plays. He's won league championships with Feyenoord, with PSV Eindhoven, with Milan of course last year, and then the European Championships with Holland. And Leo Beenhakker, who had a spell in charge of the Dutch national team and had Gullit under his wing then, will recognise the contribution made at this rarefied level of the game by the man wearing Milan's number 10 shirt. Number 10 for Real Madrid is Gallego. Schuster. Laboured turn into Maldini. This time Van Basten wasn't able to keep the move going. But that's really not a worry for Milan. Their grip on the semi-final is firm. What is a concern is Gullit having a pit stop. He didn't finish the first leg, he was suffering from the flu. And Bouillot got it right that time. Gallego looked to be impeded by Rijkaard, but Real kept the ball. Schuster. Well, they've given him room to shoot. He didn't accept that invitation. After the toing and froing, it's a Milan throw. Rijkaard, nicely down for Ancelotti. Gullit, after the running repairs, was given no chance though by that pass. Sanchez. A little bit of news for you from West Germany. We're at half-time in the second leg of the UEFA Cup semi-final between Bayern Munich and Napoli. It's 0-0 there, which means Napoli still lead 2-0 on aggregate. And Sampdoria have come through for Italy in the Cup Winners' Cup. 3-0 over Mechelen, 3-1 on aggregate there. I beg your pardon, 4-2 on aggregate. So it's looking very good for Italy, looking for a triple success. Arrigo Sacchi, realising it's not over yet here against players of the quality that Real Madrid can field. They're always capable of scoring. But you would think as this game develops that Milan, simply by the position of the scoreline now, Milan would be given opportunities to add to their goals because Real have got to attack so much. But they attack here with Gordillo. And Michel! What a difference that might have made. After being held up by Colombo, Gordillo still delivered the cross, and Michel got the better of Maldini that time, making a late run beyond the last line of defending there for the cross. Martin Vasquez, has that encouraged Real Madrid? Sanchez and Hullet taken on by Van Basten. He's done marvellously well to get the ball in. In fact, it was noticeable that time that Milan, and they don't have to do it, didn't commit as many players into the Real area. Only Hullet was really in a threatening position. Tassotti. Milan, so-called because of the English influence in the way the club was founded. Would otherwise be Milano, of course, in Italy. And one of their famous English players of the past, Jimmy Greaves, is actually in the stadium tonight, paying a return visit to his old club. Michel. Applause for Costa Curta, the player who was brought in at the 11th hour. And Ivani was injured yesterday, and that introduction necessitated one or two positional changes. Ivani would have been out there where Ancelotti got the ball. Costa Curta, defender. Advantage played. Michel. Rijkaard in the way, and it was noticeable there that Milan were much quicker to the loose ball. And Butragueño might have made something had he been able to take the ball more easily into his stride. Ancelotti collects offside, and clearly so, despite the reaction of the crowd. And that was a rather tame ball from Gallego. Tassotti. Lovely turn by Marco Van Basten. Hullet ran as a decoy. Van Basten then turned, it seemed, down a blind alley. Is it? No. He got his shot in. And the two Dutchmen, one with the ball and one without it, had 5 defenders and a goalkeeper fully occupied then. Schuster. Michel. Butragueño. Well, there's no way through there as we move into the last 5 minutes of the first half, in which Real Madrid have, it seems, tossed away their chances of reaching the final of the European Cup. Particularly in the way Buyo was beaten by Ancelotti for the first goal. Schuster. It breaks down again. And likewise in the other half of the field. Pullet rather turned his back. Sanchez. Hugo Sanchez. Well, often he's been prepared to take the shot on the volley in that type of position. He was looking for something more subtle then, and it's led to a Real Madrid corner. Paco Llorente. The barrier was Ancelotti, who in turn was fouled by Martin Vasquez. Ancelotti sent tumbling. And with the wind taken out of his sails for the moment. Particularly encouraging to Milan, who've depended so much on Marco van Basten for their goals in their European run this season. To get goals from another quarter, Van Basten has chalked up 7 in this tournament alone. Donadoni. Rijkaard. Flinging himself, and there was a deflection there from Ancelotti this time. A third goal for Milan would end any doubts, and Donadoni pursuing it here, and Hullet nearly supplying it. Just a little flick header. And Real Madrid found wanting from the short corner to allow Donadoni to cut infield and really pick the pass. And Baresi remains pretty much in control at the back. It all paints a very rosy picture for Milan. Well taken on the burst by Rijkaard. Gullit. Gallego went in and played the ball. There was a greater danger from the first challenge on Gullit. Well, I wonder whether the free kick has been given for deception or attempted deception. He could hardly have feigned too much there. He was brought down by the impetus of Gallego, but only after Gallego had gone in with a fair tackle. But that was the first tackle by Sanchez that looked as though it might give away the penalty. Gallego just got a piece of it, which ruled whatever happened afterwards as not punishable. Michel. This was possessed by an adversary, Maldini, who again shows evidence of having the measure of him. There you go. And Real Madrid looking a little disheartened now, as well they might. Donadoni. Sanchez has gone across to try and close him down. Gullit and Van Basten make their moves, and they said they hit Gullit! Well, that's the icing on the cake of a very sweet first half for Milan. Donadoni teased away, and Sanchez couldn't stop him getting the cross in. Gullit was first to move, as Milan have been really throughout, way in front of Gordillo. And it's turning into something of a massacre here. 3 goals in the first half. Real Madrid are in ruins. Hugo Sanchez. Vasquez. Leo Beinhacker picked a Real Madrid team here to come and attack. He neglected to include, to my mind, enough defenders, because Milan have played in a very controlled and attacking way against a side that haven't really been equipped to deal with the quality that Milan have had in their attack. And goals from Ancelotti, from Rijkaard, and right on half-time from Ruud Gullit have taken Milan another huge step towards the final in Barcelona on May the 24th. Confirmation of the scoreline there and the scorers. A saddened Leo Beinhacker walks off. We'll be back for the second half.
Yes, indeed, Martin Tyler, and one must feel for Real Madrid because Milan are in a menacing mood tonight. What a half, what a great game. The only pity is that it looks as though it might be all over. Just remind you of the other news today. Galatasaray and Steaua Bucharest drawing 1-1, so it's Steaua who go into the final 5-1 on aggregate. And in the Cup Winners' Cup, Sampdoria defeated Mechelen 3-0. They are in the final in the Cup Winners' Cup 4-2. And if you want to catch up on the results on a daily basis, by the way, there is a new dialing service you can ring. The number is 0055 22 333. And if you ring that number anytime, any day, from anywhere in Australia, you'll catch up on the latest from overseas soccer. We'll take a short break. Scoreline over Real Madrid, and we're frantically searching through the history books to see whether Real Madrid has ever been had 3 goals scored against them in the first half of a European Cup match. We haven't found it as yet. Tony, Andrew and John. Tony, you were right about the Dutch trio today.
Well, it wasn't really that difficult, I guess. But I would like to emphasize the impact that Sacchi, the coach, has had on AC Milan. He really has introduced into Italian soccer a completely different mentality. This attacking football as against this cliché of Italians always defending, which is no longer true.
Yeah, he's done that, but do enough teams follow their example in Italy?
Well, not many. I mean, Trapattoni is winning the league this year, doing exactly the opposite. But obviously, from a spectator's point of view, what AC Milan shows, I think, is the best that you can expect in a soccer match.
Andrew, from a player's point of view, at what point do you think Real Madrid may have got rattled to the extent where really they haven't been in the game at all?
Well, I think they were in the game for, say, the first 10 minutes. I think after the first game, after the first goal, a little bit of panic set in, and besides Mitchell's chance, it's been one-way traffic all the game.
Well, the quality of the Milan play is just irresistible on the day, and when you strike a team in this mood, John, there's just absolutely nothing you can do.
There's little you can do about it. The first goal makes it virtually impossible, doesn't it? You've got to get 2 to win. This goal here, whether the keeper, Andrew is saying, and I agree with him, the only excuse is that he was unsighted. It did dip, but not that much. A goalkeeper of this standing really should have it, but splendid shot just the same.
The fact that Rijkaard has to play in midfield today, Tony, has not exactly been a problem to overcome for Milan. I mean, he's had a great first half.
Well, as a matter of fact, Rijkaard, I think, is out to prove a point because he doesn't want to play stopper. He's being utilized there also because AC Milan lost Filippo Galli at the beginning of the season. He only played 30 minutes last week after a 7-month layoff. And there were talks in the Italian press that Rijkaard is not happy with having to play a defensive role. And if he was out to prove a point, he surely did prove it.
Yeah. And of course, the other two, Van Basten, John, I have never seen Van Basten, even in the European Championship. He scored fabulous goals, but I have never seen him prove so conclusively what a great player he is as he did in those 45 minutes.
Classy all-round player, not just a scorer, but all class. But impressive here, and lesson for us here is the quality of the crossing and the position of the crossing coming from. Opening on the side all the time. There's the cross coming from this position now. Defence have no chance, and Andrew commenting, and you have to agree on him, Real a little bit short on in the area at the back.
Yes, well, the 4 defenders they've got, they're all under 6 foot, and I mean, the crosses are coming in, and with forwards like Van Basten and Gullit, who are tall players, they're going to win a lot in the air.
You just on John's point there. I mean, you'd agree that those sort of crosses, as a defender and a defensive player yourself, are very difficult to handle, aren't they? That's just before we go into that. That's the penalty incident, fellas. Some verdicts on that?
Well, it reminded me of the Olver Rosenthal.
Did it?
I hope Galli and Butragueño don't object to the comparison. But to me, it looked like a clear penalty.
What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I think it was a penalty.
I felt it was a penalty as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's 4 penalties. Four of us thought it was a penalty. We won't go back to the Olver incident. That's for another day, of course. Here's Milan again, and Gullit emerging towards the latter stages of the second half, and really putting in a fine performance. But those sort of crosses that we were talking about earlier, Andrew, are very difficult to handle once they're cut back from the byline.
Yeah, they are. Especially, it's very difficult, and it even makes it more difficult when you're marking someone that is taller than you. I mean, they're coming from behind, and you get caught out a lot.
They've got the advantage.
Yep.
This was a chance for Real to get back in the game. They've missed by Michel.
Yeah, that was
What a difference that might have made.
bad miss. He usually puts them away, really.
Well, it was the sort of, yeah, I mean, you would expect a player like Michel to miss that one, but really their players have not been firing at all. I think, Tony, you'd agree, intimidated by the quality of the Milan display.
Milan are playing extremely well. I mean, obviously you never know where it begins and where it ends, whether it's Milan being too good or Real Madrid being not so good. But surely, I mean, they are proving beyond, they're playing even beyond expectation, AC Milan. We all know they should have won in Madrid already. Really, they had a lot of chances, a goal disallowed, which was a goal apparently. But tonight they are really playing extremely well.
Van Basten proving that was probably his best moment of the game, that explosive yet elegant, classy run. He really is a quality footballer.
On his way to Barcelona for the final, now what remains to be seen whether he will be remaining there after the final.
Yes, true. I mean, how certain is that he's going to Barcelona?
Well, he does have a contract with AC Milan which expires next year, so I don't think they will let him go, but they are talking millions of dollars for him to go to Barcelona.
Yeah, well, Barcelona is one club who can afford him, of course, to pay that sort of money.
On the other hand, AC Milan does not need the money.
That's right.
With that sort of crowd and with 65,000 yearly season tickets.
That's true, and I don't think Mr. Sacchi would be all that happy to let him go anyway. It would be a pity in a sense, because I have a feeling if Milan keeps playing like this, that we have the makings of a very great team here. Not only a potential European Cup winner, but perhaps more than once in a row. Like we had the Ajaxes and those sorts of teams. So, do you agree with that?
Well, it's a fairly young team, so I do agree with you.
Yeah, it would be a pity. Okay, the team is back, so let's go over to Martin Tyler. Well, Martin is not quite ready for us. Alexis Ponet, the referee today from Belgium, a veteran. There is Arrigo Sacchi, hero of the moment. Italian coaching, and what a fine team he's built. Well, Martin is not quite ready for us. Alexis Ponet, the referee today from Belgium, a veteran. There is Arrigo Sacchi, hero of the moment, and certainly a fairy tale story in Italian coaching. And what a fine team he's built, and what a fine style of play he's instilled into his players. It really is for all the gloom merchants, John, who keep talking nostalgically about the football in the past. This really is a ray of sunshine, this Milan team.
I think football generally is, though, Les, because like in all sports, I don't agree with those who always say yesterday was better. The players are tactically and physically, technically much better than the generation before. And I just think it's apart from that, the fact that your top clubs or your top teams can play the quality of football that we're seeing here, and the entertainment value and the skill level, it's a good influence on the game throughout the world. People want to imitate what the Milans are doing of world football, and the fact that they're playing so positively and with so much skill, it's a good influence for the game overall.
There's some of the titles that Milan has won, the Champions Cup twice in '63 and '69, where Paolo Maldini's father, Cesare Maldini, Tony, was the captain and the sweeper, and that was the team that included Rivera, the Benfica, who included Eusebio. That wasn't a bad couple of teams there. Disappointing final, actually, as I recall. It wasn't a great final, but a good team Milan was in those days, and that era was then, of course, followed by the Inter Milan era. Let's go now to Martin Tyler.
Semi-final, Milan beating Vitosha Sofia, and then Red Star Belgrade. That was a close one. Werder Bremen in the quarterfinals from West Germany. Real Madrid pass Moss of Norway, Gornik from Poland, and then PSV Eindhoven. But if you wanted a quick indication of how this game has gone so far, it was provided by the way the teams came out for the second half. Milan were out a good 3 or 4 minutes before Real Madrid, roaring out, ready to get underway again. The referee was out next, and it was a while before Real Madrid emerged from their dressing room, and I wonder what was said in there. So if you've just joined us, Milan lead 3-0 here in the second leg of the European Cup semi-final after a 1-1 draw in the first leg. A first half really beyond their wildest expectations. Goals from Ancelotti after 18 minutes, Rijkaard 24 minutes, and Ruud Gullit right on half-time. A lot of us checking through the half-time interval about big defeats for Real Madrid. There haven't been too many of them in European competition down the years, such an illustrious history. They did lose a semi-final 5-1 to Hamburg in 1980. And even more recently, a UEFA Cup quarter-final 5-0 to the West German club Kaiserslautern. Donadoni trying to make it 4-0 here. Michel. Well, Chendo almost played into trouble, got out of his difficulties well enough. Gallego. Here's Schuster. Real Madrid will have to be disciplined in their play, indeed show an organisation that was lacking in the first half to avoid absolute humiliation here. Rijkaard, Van Basten, leaving Chendo, Marco Van Basten for Milan. Still he goes on and looks to squeeze it through to Gullit, unsuccessfully in the end. Paco Llorente, Schuster getting a tackle in. Colombo, who does a lot of unselfish work up and down the right-hand side for Milan. Tassotti, the right back. Rijkaard. Well, he must have heard Paco Llorente coming. Colombo. It's Donadoni going in, not his real strength in the air. And a player you may recall who had a dreadful injury in this competition in Belgrade in an earlier round. Buyo claims it from Gullit, but Donadoni actually had to have his jaw broken after swallowing his tongue to restart breathing. Maldini. Good touch by Van Basten, very sure in his work, although he's not yet on the score sheet. The other two Dutchmen are. Rijkaard. Gullit. Here's Van Basten. He's scored now. With great appreciation of where his teammate and fellow countryman was, and the shot was a stunner into the roof of the net. Rijkaard, Gullit, Van Basten, a goal with its roots in Holland, scored in Milan. It might be wet here, but there's nothing damp about the atmosphere of this football match. Milan have started the second half as they finished off the first in total command. Donadoni, another goal conceded by Real Madrid when they were found wanting in the air. Not a direct header this time, but Gullit allowed to knock it down. And remember, Gullit himself and Rijkaard had scored with headers in the first half. Donadoni. And Van Basten not wanting to take his foot off the accelerator. His goal meant so much in Madrid. It gave Milan a deserved share there of the first leg. Some would say they deserved even more than that. But there's no doubt they're getting what they deserve here. And they're making Real Madrid, in truth, look a shambles. Offside against Martin Vasquez. Donadoni. Rijkaard free. And Donadoni might keep this in. Well, he should have done, really. But not too much has gone wrong for Milan tonight. And they can afford one or two errors now. But when you look at Real Madrid tonight, you must remember that they've only just lost their first league game of the season last Saturday against Celta. And they're being made to look like novices here. Gallego. Schuster, and the aimless pass indicative of Real's state of mind. A lot of proud players out there are on the wrong end of a hiding. It was just that moment before the first goal when Galley had to fling himself out a wicked cross from the right, when Real Madrid might have struck the first blow, but the mood here is one of celebration. The wave is in full swing. Well, who'd have believed it? And those who said that these two teams should be contesting the final might have to think again. Cordillo, Baresi in the right place. Steaua Bucharest, a very, very capable team. Champions, of course, in '86, as Schuster knows only too well. He played in that match for Barcelona and was substituted by Terry Venables, the Barcelona coach, and really walked off the pitch and walked out of Barcelona. Pull it for Milan. Schuster, a very single-minded gentleman. And one would have to question his judgment, though, in the way his career has gone. Turned his back on international football with West Germany as well several years ago, after helping them to win the European Championships in 1980. There's no doubt that Real Madrid will want to turn their backs as quickly as possible on this semi-final. Galley putting the ball out because he spotted that Hullet was down, and there will be no need to continue with Ruud Gullit if the damage needs immediate rest. It's been a difficult season for Hullet in some ways. They've got a very capable replacement here in Pietro Paolo Virdis, the old grey fox. And Hullet might just have damaged himself in scuffing that cross then. Yes, he felt the knee straight away. But it was his injury earlier in the season that stopped Milan marching to the second successive Italian League Championship. He missed crucial games. Virdis, who scored on Saturday in the Italian League in a 1-1 draw at Lecce, and is an admirable player with vast European experience, not only with Milan but with Juventus as well. The sensible thing is to get Gullit off, although he seemed a bit reluctant to yield to the trainer's request straight away. But he's more than played his part. The substitution coming after 11 minutes of the second half. And with the league really not important for Milan, they've got more than a month to get him right for the final, which will be staged in Barcelona. The ice applied straight away to the right knee of Ruud Gullit. Well, it's a sad departure, but in Virdis They will not lack style in the replacement. Michel. Colombo fighting in on Hugo Sanchez. And he hasn't forgotten, Angelo Colombo, that there are still tackles to be won in this game. Colombo having to hunt the ball again. He's rather played into trouble there by Tassotti. Sanchez, press back. Chendo. Real Madrid, the club that really taught us all about the charm of European club football, with those 5 consecutive European Cup wins, the first 5 years of the imaginatively conceived tournament in the 50s between the champions of all the European countries, or eventually all of them. It was a little slow to take off. England being one of the countries that didn't immediately see the value of it. Van Basten. Ancelotti, good run by Donadoni, and the shot was deflected. Ancelotti acknowledged Donadoni's work off the ball. Milan not in a hurry to take the corner. In fact, Donadoni hadn't realised it was his responsibility. Corner work short. Oh, and it's beaten the goalkeeper at the near post. Dear, oh dear, it's calamity upon calamity. As Donadoni cut in, having played the short corner. Buyo got it all wrong as he went down. 5-0, Donadoni gets one for himself. And we've still got half an hour to go. Real Madrid falling apart at the seams. Not just defeat here for them, but disaster. And Leo Beenhakker, who set such store really when the draw was made at getting past good opposition and ending a run of losing semi-finals for Real Madrid, hasn't been able to get a team out to do that. And look at the players that are losing 5-0 here. Michel, Butragueño, Hugo Sanchez. Men like Sanchez at the back, established internationals, Bernd Schuster. How often have they been in this position? Certainly at least 2 of the goals down to the goalkeeper. And it's becoming harder and harder to keep count. Baresi. Costa Curta. Van Basten for Baresi. Oh, that was brilliantly done. past Martin Vasquez. And the pass slipped wide for Ancelotti here. Well, virtually everything has ended in the back of Puyo's net. You're a little surprised when something goes awry, as Ancelotti's cross did then. They keep flashing up the scoreline here, the Italian director, as if he's in disbelief. But 5-0 it is, 6-1 the aggregate score. I don't think we're going to get extra time. Although you could certainly watch another half an hour of Milan in this mood. Capitulation by Real Madrid. They've got a free kick now. And that'll get the minds racing again of Schuster and Sanchez. And maybe Martin Vasquez involved as well. Milan needing some defensive discipline here. Haven't required too much of it. Here's Martin Vasquez putting into the wall, reclaimed by Michel, and good cover by Tassotti as others moved out. Well, this is a move that may be as sentimental as tactical. Filippo Galli has been out for 6 months. He played his first game since the opening day of the Italian season against Lecce on Saturday when he came on as a substitute. And Colombo is replaced by Filippo Galli, no relation to the goalkeeper incidentally, but a very popular figure here and a key man when Milan won the championship last season. And they're giving him a slice of the glory now. Baresi with an authoritative header. And authority really is the word that comes to mind when you look to describe Milan's performance here. Martin Vasquez. And Filippo Galli was making a challenge then, having just come on. In fact, it wasn't Galli who made contact, as the foul was committed right on the edge of the area. Costa Curta was there as well. And this is certainly within the compass of Schuster. It's Hugo Sanchez who takes it. Whether that was planned, only Real Madrid will know. Maldini. Back for Gallego. Milan streaming out and then holding their line on the edge of the area. And Ancelotti was part of that. Chendo. Well, I wondered during half-time whether Leo Beenhakker might just settle for shoring it up and bring on a defender. But he chose not to do that, and 2 more goals have gone past Puyo. Good work by Paco Llorente, it's a splendid run. Gordillo, out-tackled by Mauro Tassotti. And a second time. Donadoni. Virdis was looking for Van Basten, who's got it now. Virdis trying too hard. Butragueño. Michel looping up alongside. Hugo Sanchez going through the centre. Here's Michel. And although it was straight at Giovanni Galli, it came on that awkward half volley, which goalkeepers never like. Galli, who was Italy's first choice goalkeeper in the 1986 World Cup finals, but didn't perform too capably in Mexico and really lost his international status there. Van Basten, who certainly still is very much a part of the international scene. Donadoni, Ancelotti, given time to measure the cross. Sometimes you can have too much time, and that's what Milan are having at the moment. Gordillo, Gallego, Milan still keeping the shape of their defending, and those hard-nosed defenders at the back will take as much satisfaction out of keeping a clean sheet, if they can do that, as the goal scorers will take in embarrassing Real Madrid at the other end. We're into the last quarter of this game. Rijkaard, Ancelotti, Van Basten, no way through this time. That's a foul by Costa Curta. Gordillo always runs the risk of more serious damage playing without pads. That might have really scuffed him across the front of the shins as well. Chendo. Milan, who Vidas. Not too much has gone right for Pietro Paolo Vidas since he's come on. And Baresi is simply cruising at the back. Ray Wilkins, one of the English players who has played here over the past few years, regards Franco Baresi as the best player in the world. That's some compliment, but when you see Baresi as he's played over the two legs of this semi-final, you would certainly say he's the best at his job. And he's looking to set things up again. And Milan, relaxed, confident. And again, in such control that one or two players are taking an extra touch or two, which are interrupting the flow of the moves that have ripped Real Madrid apart. Just under 20 minutes remaining. Schuster. Plucked it out of the air with the left foot. Rijkaard winning the tackle. Maldini first there again. What a talent he is at 20. He and Baresi and Donadoni, one would think as well, going to be part of Italy's challenge to try and win the World Cup on home territory in just over a year's time. But men like Gullit, Van Basten and Rijkaard will be, of course, one would think for Holland. Of course, they've got a job to qualify Leo Beenhakker may well be back in Holland. He's been courted by Ajax to take over as their coach again. But Holland in the same group as West Germany, and in a week's time those two countries do meet in Holland, and what a match that promises to be. This is Paco Llorente, who has a rich European pedigree. His uncle Gento played in all 8 of Real Madrid's European Cup finals. 6 wins and 2 defeats, so he's heard all about it before. But it doesn't look as though he's going to be playing in a European Cup final this year at least. Well, it's Martin Vasquez caught in possession, and Van Basten was offside. Of Gallego rather than intentional handball, and Llorente still grafting for all he's worth, and one might say trying to cheat as well. But he's been the one for Real Madrid who's kept his head up amongst the forward players and tried to at least salvage something from the ruins here. Ancelotti, who started it all off with the vital first goal. Room on the right for Frank Rijkaard. Donadoni. Well, we've just had a spell here where Real have allowed Milan so much of the ball that Milan have been guilty of a bit of overindulgence, really. You can hardly blame them. Brilliant play from Van Basten. On to Virdis from Rijkaard. Gallego closing the gap this time. Rijkaard's tackle. Sanchez. There'll be great shock in Spain at the way this tie has turned out. But Butragueño, for a second, they've got in behind Filippo Galli there, but found himself running out of room and had to settle for the corner. Taken by Schuster. Gallego. No offside this time. Oh, and lifted nonchalantly away from Schuster by Van Basten. It's an ambitious pass for Virdis, who was trying to flick the header on. And it'll reach Ancelotti. It shouldn't have done, but it has. Rijkaard! Well, it was a rasping effort. Rijkaard hasn't played too much in midfield for Milan, and because he's had to play at the back, he's been slow, really, in winning over the Milan supporters. They're seeing the best of him now. Butragueño wants help. And Milan stream out again. Ancelotti. Donadoni to his left. Baresi had come up unattended as well. Oh, Virdis! Really, that's the way it has gone for him since he's come on. He's made the wrong decision a few times. and had he headed at goal, there was a great chance of number 6. Instead, he tried to control it, and in that decision, the chance was lost. As Real Madrid at least have a shot, but Michel not troubling the goalkeeper. Well, the countdown is on now as the minutes tick away to some real celebration here. It's been an annihilation. Martin Vasquez. Hugo Sanchez. This is Schuster, and that was reasonably close. Certainly Milan have relaxed. You can hardly blame them. Real Madrid getting in more shots, and you wonder whether they might put one past Gully before the night is out. Michel. Well, it wouldn't even spin for Hugo Sanchez then. Dreadfully difficult for the Real Madrid players, really, to do much more than go through the motions now. They have had a greater share of the ball over the last 10 minutes than in any other stage of the match. And possibly the tie. There wasn't much time in Madrid where you felt that they were running rampant. So difficult did they find Milan to break down. And although the spectacular stuff has come from Milan tonight in terms of goal scoring here, the real work was done 2 weeks ago, because that clearly affected Real Madrid's self-belief in their ability to get through in the away leg. Ten minutes left. It's another puff on the cigarette for Leo Beenhakker to try and soothe the nerves that really have been damaged here. Rijkaard. Baresi. This is Van Basten. And when there are too many options, it's sometimes more difficult. It's all academic really now. The fans would like more. Their appetites will never be satisfied as long as there's still time left in the game. But really, it's been a sumptuous feast from the Milan point of view. Donadoni. To remind you, 5 goals, 5 different scorers. 3 in the first half, 2 in the opening 15 minutes of the second. And it's never really been a case of going through the motions since then. There are too many good players on view for one's attention to slacken, but obviously the competitive nature has totally disappeared. And it has an exhibition feel about it. Indeed, I suppose we should have read the signs from 2 exhibition friendlies played between these clubs in 1988. Milan won them both home and away. Oh, Ancelotti was a little casual then. Foul on Virdis by Gendo. We're just getting news through from Munich, where Napoli have gone through 4-2 on aggregate after a 2-2 draw in the Olympic Stadium in Munich tonight. So that was obviously some second leg. And it's been exactly that here. Paco Llorente. Blocked by Filippo Galli. Well, I would say he's earned his money, Paco Llorente. It's been almost a one-man band, though, in terms of going for goal for Real Madrid in the second half. Can they bundle one in here? The answer is no. Virdis. Rijkaard from Van Basten's header on from Donadoni. Costa Curta coming forward. And Donadoni happy just to try and ensure that possession is kept. If we've had the fireworks here, they'll live long in the memory. And with all the wisdom of hindsight, I wonder whether Leo Beenhakker, given the same circumstances, would have picked the same team for Real Madrid here. Here's Van Basten. Gallego gets the free kick. The semi-final has proved many things, but once again the thoroughbred style of Marco van Basten. Schuster. These 2 Latin countries, by tradition, great rivals, and they will see this as a success for Italy as much as for Milan in these parts. And what a year it's turning out to be for Italian clubs in European competition. The treble is on for them. Well, Schuster to take the free kick. Once Alex Pone has got the Real line back. This is Michel. Van Basten had a look at the referee to see if he was going to be penalised and was allowed to go on. Ancelotti. Virdis. Donadoni. They're trying to walk it in, and you can't do that even against a team as beleaguered as Real Madrid have been tonight. Real Madrid will go home to Spain for reappraisal and rebuilding. And Leo Beenhakker won't be part of that. He has been offered a job as an overall coaching director, but the team will be in the hands of another coach. Arrigo Sacchi may well have ensured his future with Milan on what's happened here tonight. It's really inconceivable to think that Berlusconi, the president, is considering dispensing with him. That's the pressure of a job at this level of the game. This is Ancelotti, who started it all off with that 18-minute strike that sped past the groping Puyo. Donadoni, who got the 5th goal. And still has the ball. Ancelotti. Paresi. And it's keep ball now. Is there going to be something at the end of it? Well, there might have been. And Van Basten hooked it back towards Donadoni. Michel. And offside against Paco Llorente. The celebration is reverberating around the stadium here, commonly known as the San Siro, officially as the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium after a great former Italian international of bygone days. Milan, who played so fluently in Madrid 2 weeks ago, have given a performance here of the very highest class, and Viris trying to round it all off. He's got a corner. He's done as much pointing in the decision as the referee. 17 European goals for Viris in 25 games for Juventus and for Milan. That's a great strike record, so you can see how capable the replacement when Gullit went off, which really has been the only disappointment for Milan tonight. Waiting is Baresi. Almost an arrogant pass to Tassotti. It's just a question now of the time. Alex Pone wants to add on. Van Basten, Ancelotti. A complete performance by Milan to demolish Real Madrid. Every pass getting the Ole now. A side that's only lost one league game in their domestic season have been hammered here. Butragueño's hardly had a kick. Milan are through to the European Cup final in Barcelona on May the 24th. Real Madrid losers in the semi-final for the 3rd year in a row, but they never expected, I would have thought, a defeat like this one. Milan did so much good work in Madrid 2 weeks ago, but they were able to finish it off tonight in fantastic style. 5 goals, there's a scorer of the first giving his thoughts, Carlo Ancelotti. Frank Rijkaard made it 2-0 after 24 minutes. Gullit with a header right on half-time. Van Basten and Donadoni in the second half when Gullit had to go off with what looked like an injured right knee. And astonishing scenes at the end of an astonishing match. Milan will have a tough task in the final. Make no mistake about that, against Steaua Bucharest, who won the other semi-final today, 5-1 on aggregate after a 1-1 draw in Turkey with Galatasaray. The players slowly getting their way through the crowd to the dressing room where they can reflect on a magnificent night for Milan. A final score then, it's 5-0 here to Milan. They go through against Real Madrid into the final on aggregate by 6 goals to 1. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. From Martin Tyler, a very good night to you all around the world.
And indeed a scoreline that none of us would have dared predict or even dream of, no matter how much of a AC Milan fan you were. Just to confirm those news that Martin Tyler has already conveyed to you, Napoli are through to the final of the UEFA Cup after a 2-2 draw with Bayern Munich in Munich, with Careca scoring, by the way, both those goals. We've also heard that Stuttgart has qualified for the final of that
Super Cup is at stake, the second leg of this high-level competition between the winners of the European Cup and the winners of the Cup Winners' Cup. Milan held Barcelona to a 1-1 draw in Spain 2 weeks ago and should make full use of home advantage tonight. They're still without Franco Baresi and Carlo Ancelotti and of course Ruud Gullit, who's been unavailable all season. But they do have the majestic Marco van Basten, their scorer in the Super Cup in Barcelona. There's Ancelotti on the left of the picture, and Milan will be looking to get him back into the action as soon as possible. They're in great current league form. They've won their last 4 games. And the supporters tonight have come expecting something of a party. Well, here's the Barcelona side. They needed to bring their strongest team here for what is a very testing match, but they haven't been able to do that. Lopez Ricarte, one of the players, and Alasanko, another, have had to come in because Koeman and Aloisio are missing. And also Michael Laudrup. Serna has been a regular in defence. Baquero, wearing number 6, may well play further forward because of Laudrup's absence. At 7 is Aurora, who's only 20. Julio Salinas, a Spanish international, of course, like Roberto and Begueristain. Well, it's certainly a night for the fur coats. Chilly few days in Italy. Giovanni Galli comes back to the Milan goal. He hasn't been playing in the league side recently, and Stefano Carobi plays instead of Salvatore at right back. Elsewhere, it's very much the side that did so well 2 weeks ago in Barcelona, when Marco van Basten's penalty gave Milan the lead, and Amor, who's also on the Barcelona casualty list tonight and not in the side, he equalised in the second half. The referee is the Austrian Helmut Kohl. Barcelona kick-off. It's a very high-profile next 10 days for Milan. They've got this game here. They have an away match to Sampdoria in the Italian league, which will say a great deal about their improvement in league form. If they can win that, they really are on their way to challenging the leaders Napoli. And then they go to Tokyo for the World Club Championship finale to the year, the calendar year. Here's Maldini. Barcelona slow to clear. Massaro was setting himself in the centre. Against this injury-hit Barcelona side, it does seem all set up for Milan tonight. But when you look down the Barcelona list and look at the players that have come in, like Lopez Ricarte and Alasanko, Roberto, who's only a substitute because of injury in the first game and did well when he was used in the second half. It's by no means a total formality. Remember, 1-1 from the first leg, so in theory a 0-0 for Milan would win them the Super Cup on the away goals rule, but they've already started in a manner as if to say, well, that's not high on their priorities. They want to go out and win it with the attacking style that's captured the imagination not only in Italy, but all over the world. And it'll be very important for Barcelona to get through the early stages unscathed. They have to score in this game, otherwise the Super Cup will be beyond them, as it has been twice in the past, in 1979 and 1982. Obstruction by Frank Rijkaard. Alessanco taking the free kick. It's a loose one from Lopez Ricarte that Barcelona were able to deal with. A very good crowd in a very famous stadium. One of the World Cup venues, of course, and the World Cup very much in the minds of everyone in Italy at the moment, with the draw in less than 2 days' time now.